Hello and welcome back this week to talk about the upcoming sermon. So we're going to be in Matthew chapter 6 this week, and oh boy, is there a lot that we could talk about. As I've been diving into it and preparing, I believe where I'm going to focus the majority of my time is when Jesus walks on water. Now, the hard part about that is you can't really talk about that moment, I think, without talking about what happens earlier on in the chapter, because that informs this moment of walking on the water and what happens with the disciples, what happens with Jesus, why is this whole scene set up the way that it is. All of that, I think, comes from talking about the context of this chapter in particular, but also obviously having been fed from the previous chapters. There's always way too much to talk about, right? I mean, it's impossible really to go through it all. We would need years upon years to go through each gospel individually. So I think that's where I'm going to focus this week. So how about this? Read all of chapter 6, right? Just read it all. It's not too long. You can easily and definitely do that. And then pay particular attention to the sermon on, not the Sermon on the Mount, to the walking on water in Mark chapter 6. But definitely pay attention to the other events as well. What is happening? Look at the movement of Jesus in this chapter. Notice how he's here and there and everywhere and going back and forth, right? And he's going off to rest and then doesn't get to do that and to a quiet place and all this kind of stuff, right? Look at everything that's going on with Jesus in this chapter. And to me, that informs this moment of the walking on the water. So that's where we're going to be in Mark chapter 6. So read Mark chapter 6 and come prepared, ready to look at that and talk about that together. I think it's going to be a good study this week. I know I'm looking forward to it as I dive more into this. And we're going to talk about that and what's going on, okay? All right. With that, I'm done. That was short. I'll be back next week, right, to talk about the following sermon of next week. But I hope that you all have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the rainy day today. It's really kind of nice. I like rainy days. So enjoy your days. And I will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.